This video is all about table time. How to train a dog to let you handle them on the grooming table with trust. Let's do it.
All right, today we're going to show you guys what you can do in your own home to set up a nice area to groom your dog. But not only that, we're going to teach you how to practice grooming with your dog on the table with your safe setup so that they trust you and they learn to be very comfortable during the grooming process. So our goal here is no more nervous dog. We're going to teach them to have good behavior on the grooming table, and you are going to learn to practice this. I work with Ellie in my grooming shop. We're not in my grooming shop. She's going to work for me just fine here today, no problems. But I'm going to teach her mom how to work with Ellie here in this situation and give her mom tips on how she can encourage Ellie to behave for her on the grooming table, because this is something that a lot of people struggle with. You definitely need a grooming arm. Mom has a grooming arm here. This will hook on any table. This is a kitchen table. Their spare table they use, it has 2 drop leaves on it. So they opened up the drop leaves. You can find tables like this at auctions. You can find them at consignment stores. And this is an older table. They actually are very well made. So this creates a great grooming table for you to have. She has her arm put on here. This just screws on. This is simple. I'll link in the description where you can get a portable grooming arm. You must have this. With that, we have a groomer's helper lead. This is also very important. Because this is such a slick surface, we wouldn't want Ellie to try to stand still. It would make her very upset to be worried about her footing in this slippery surface. So we put a paw mat down. You can use a paw mat. I'll link to those. All you want to do is create a secure surface for your dog to stand on when you're going to be working with them so that they don't slip. It's important for them to know that they're safe. We'll put her groomer's helper on her. These leads are the best because they adjust like a collar. And I'll link everything I'm talking about today, guys, so that you can have the same setup. Now, when you put the collar on, this adjusts. So we want Ellie to be looking up a little bit here nicely. We want this to rest right under her jaw. And we're going to just secure it down enough that we can still get a couple fingers in here, and we're going to lock it into place. But here's a problem. I have too much play in this grooming loop. This is going to allow Ellie to ask herself if she wants to stay in a position or if she wants to move, because right now she can move a lot. See, even this is too much. We want our dogs to be able to stand nice and squared up on the table. So I need to take the slack out by adjusting the grooming arm, and all of them are adjustable. The ones I linked will be. And I'm just taking the slack out. I don't want this pulling tight on Ellie. I just don't want slack in the grooming arm like this. That gives her too much room to do other things, to ask herself what she wants to do and do other things. We want her to do what we want her to do. So that is to be standing nice and still and square on the grooming table. Typically want your dog to be facing the grooming arm. Now, mom has this second hitch, which is just made of paracord. You can make this yourself. You can make this perfectly adjustable to your dog. All you want to do is make sure that there's not enough slack in this, the same as this lead. We don't want a lot of slack. It gives Ellie a lot of room to move and to do other things. We want to just keep reminding her by the way we have her harnessed on the table. We're reminding her how we want her to stand and where we want her to stand. And it's important. So she is very safely secured now on this grooming table. There's another option. If you don't have this, I found on Amazon, and I actually made one. It's on my grooming table at home. I'll show you a quick picture of that. These 2 parts you can get off of Amazon, and this is fantastic. You are going to make your own anchor that is the second hitch. In horse community, they call it bucking a horse, having them cross-tied. So 2 ties to keep them where they want them. And this simply just screws in here. I mean, these are just 2 parts. You can use a spare dog leash to do this. I'm going to show you right now. So we're putting it together, and we're going to open this up so we can clamp it here on the table. And you pretty much want to have it clamped right next to your grooming arm. You don't want this to be here and her be hitched here. That would just not be good movement, and it would be in your way. So you want it hitched real close to your grooming arm, and then you tighten that up. It's just a clamp. That's all it is. In fact, I'm gonna move it over here so I have better access to it because of this screw. Get yourself an old dog leash, one of your spare dog leashes. I know everybody has them. Loop it through here. You can tie it. Let's tie it. You're just creating a separate anchor for Ellie. That's all this is. This really comes in handy when it comes time for nail trims. You can also use this screw right here, depending on how your grooming arm is constructed. So you could wrap it around there too. This anchor's nice because you can take it in the tub with you if you need to, if you have something you can hook it to. Now Ellie is very safely secured on the grooming table. She has good footing because of the paw mat, so she feels very secure. It's very important. Now what I'm going to teach you guys to do is how to practice table time with your dog, so they know this is what you are going to be doing with them, not their groomer. You are now going to be. If it's just brushing that you're going to do, then having this little setup is awesome because it's comfortable to you and it's comfortable to your dog. And Ellie behaves so well up here because she knows what she's supposed to do while she's up here. Your dog may not. So let's start practicing table time, about 10 minutes a day for like 2 weeks, every day, 10 minutes. You're teaching them that when they're up here and they're safely secured, that it's not time to play and talk and, hey Ellie, did you play ball today? And we don't want to talk about that kind of stuff. We're working here. She's working for you. So we're teaching her how to behave when she's on the table. I'm going to need to be clipping in her paw pads. I want to practice picking her foot up, handling her foot. Just touch it. You don't have to do any clipping yet. You know, we're just getting ready for the big show. We're getting them ready. We're teaching them that we're going to be touching them when they're on the grooming table. Remind your dog to stand nice and square and stout on the table. If Ellie wanted to come around and move around, simply bring her back to the position and just have her stand here and praise her. That's a good girl, Ellie. Not constant praise, just when she's doing what you want. And practice touching your dog. Practice picking up a foot. Pretend you're clipping. Pretend that you're holding this foot up. And you always want to make sure that you're holding them in positions that are comfortable. If I had her little leg way up here, she'd be like, it's not comfortable. You want to make sure that you're handling them in a comfortable way. Practice putting your hand in here so you can lift this leg out a little bit and you can do your clipper work when you need to. When you tip back the foot for trimming the paw pads, practice this during table time. Lift the beard, look at the teeth, handle your dog while they're on the table. You're teaching them that you are going to have your hands on them when they're up here and that they're going to be okay with you having your hands on them. That's what you're teaching them. Take a look in the ears while you're doing table time. Good girl, Ellie. If she lets you do that, tell her that's a good girl. Because when it comes time to clip in here around the ears, you want this dog to be still. You do not want a dog who is nervous or shaking or unpredictable. That's how you can nick a dog with a clipper or a shear, and you don't want that. So you need to practice the table time. It is so fun to practice this with your dog because you're bonding with them. You know, you're teaching them to trust you. And certain times during the process, you can allow your dog to sit, and that's okay. But if I need her to stand, I'm going to put my hand right under her belly. I just reminded her to stand back up, and she did. If she wants to sit, practice that. Ellie, sit. Good girl. Good girl. Stand. Yeah, good girl. Tell her what it is. Have a word for it. That's stand. And let her know that she did what you wanted her to do so she knows it. So now we're going to have my mom practice these things with Ellie because she is going to start learning how to do some clipper work on her 2 schnauzers. Her dogs behave differently for her than they do for me. Why? Because they're already used to me grooming them. They already know when I have them on a grooming table that this is what I want them to do. But they haven't learned yet from my mom that that's what she wants them to do for her. And that's a difference for your dog. So we are going to have Mom safely secure Ellie on the table and work with her.
Hi, Gus. Hi, little Gus.
Gussie, it's now your turn. And this table would be not the setup for a big dog. We would have to have a separate setup for our big dogs, if not make something, which that can easily be done.
Okay, yes, you know Mommy loves you, don't you? Yes, you do.
Don't be afraid to ask something of your dog.
Okay, we're going to do this again. You were so nice for Amy. Let's see if you can be nice for me. You think so? Let's see. How does this thing work?
It goes on like a collar first, and then you adjust it.
So you put it on.
You put it on
here.
like a collar,
Okay. We'll put it on right there, Ellie.
and then you can hook her up to the grooming
no,
arm
you're not
hitch.
getting down. No, get down.
And Mom also has a light here attached to the table. Very important. You need to see.
baby.
Now, if it's too loose, now is how you adjust it. So you can slide it up and adjust it to you know, like it fits like a collar. You just want it to fit like a
Okay.
collar. So no tighter than you would have your collar on your dog.
So that's good, Ellie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, let's see. So now we've got this.
And then these have that second hitch,
okay.
which
let's
is
see.
nice. It really helps direct them
There's your
to
little
stay
pin.
where you want them to be.
We'll hook you there. Now,
Good job.
good girl, Ellie.
See?
No,
It's an anchor.
You stay. You stay. Good girl.
So you're going to learn to be clipping with Ellie. So when we practice table time, we're going to practice her standing in that square stout position that we want. Yep. And oftentimes it's just moving them around like this. Putting your hand right there, especially a little dog.
See? Not over there. Not over there. Right there.
Good
okay?
girl.
Good girl, baby.
And then you're going to be, you know, picking up her legs. You're going to be messing with her
paw.
feet a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, you may end up
this
wanting to
one.
trim nails. So you've really got to get her
Yeah.
comfortable with you doing that.
Put your head back that way. And back this way. Okay? Let's see this paw. Oh, look, Ellie. Stay right here. Yeah, we got your little paw pads.
That's good. You just corrected her. She moved and you said, "No, I
Good.
want you to be nice and square on the
Little paw
table."
pad that way. Yeah. Good girl, Ellie. Okay. Good.
You know, maybe you might want to check in her ears sometimes. You get them used to you touching in the ear areas.
Look at your ears. Look, Ellie. Look at them pretty little ears. Yes. Good girl.
You know, at
Good
times you have to
girl.
clean the ears with a
Good
safe ear
girl.
cleaner, and you
Yeah.
just want to keep touching them in these areas that they're going to be touched
Oh,
in.
look at your face. Look at your beard. Yes, you're a good girl.
And it's always good to check in your dog's mouth and see how their teeth health is. You know, if you don't check, you'll never know. But
Where's your
check-
teeth? Where are them teeth?
checking in her, boy, she's got
Oh,
great teeth.
pretty
Look at
teeth.
those farmer dog teeth.
Yeah.
Woo! That's a
Oh,
result of good
pretty
food, too.
girl. Pretty girl.
But this
Okay.
is a great time to look in there.
Yeah.
And then, you know, if you have never brushed your dog, which Mom brushes Ellie and Grace all the time. If you haven't, now's a good time to put the brush in your hand and maybe not even brush them. Just touch your dog with the brush in your hand. You know, you don't even have to brush them. You can just have the brush and be touching them. But you're teaching them that you're going to be having tools in your hands, and you're teaching them to trust you with tools in your hand before it's time to put those tools, you know, into play. You know, clipping your dog, doing a full brush out. Brushing usually comes along very quickly, that they're cool with it. It's the clipper work, because often the pet owner is just learning too, and they're a little bit nervous about the clipper work. So I'm going to teach you how to really get to know your clipper and with your dog. So Mom she's used a clipper before, but she's never used a clipper with Ellie or Grace, her schnauzers. And she wants to learn. She wants to learn how to do a good bit of the clipping work. So we're going to be teaching her in the weeks to come and the months to come. But right now, Ellie's never had a clipper in Mom's hand with Ellie on a grooming table. So Mom's got to get comfortable with Ellie having a clipper in her hand, and Ellie's got to get comfortable with Mom having a clipper in her hand. This may apply to you guys at home. This is desensitizing your dog to get used to that tool in your hand and trust you with it. Yeah.
Okay, Ellie.
So we don't have a blade on it.
Get back here.
We're just going to let Ellie feel the vibrations of the clipper. We're going to let Mom feel how Ellie reacts when the clipper touches her so she can be prepared for anything Ellie may think she wants to do during clipper work. So Mom is just letting Ellie learn that she's going to be using a clipper on her at some point and she can trust this process. And you always want to make sure that you prepared yourself with the proper way to use a clipper before you would ever attempt to actually clip your dog. But she's teaching Ellie what it feels like with the vibration of the clipper, and that Mom is the one that has the clipper in her hand, not Amy. I'm always the one who grooms Ellie. But now Ellie is getting used to Mom having a clipper in her hand, and Ellie is behaving for her, and that's what she needs to learn, is how to behave for her when she has a clipper in her hand. So this is table time. This is practice. There's no blade on that clipper. So this is just the clipper running, the vibration. And Ellie actually does like it. But your dog may not. So this is a way that you can teach them. We showed you how to practice keeping them standing nice and stout and squared up on the table. That's what you want to do. And then you want to practice this too, because this is desensitizing them if you are going to be the one doing the clipper work. Well, she seems to like that, doesn't she?
Does that feel good, honey? Does that feel good? Yes, good girl, Ellie.
And next we're going to get Grace up here. Grace has a little bit of hesitation with grooming. Mainly, Grace's hesitation is with her paw pads. Ellie is perfect for this. She's very good, very predictable on the grooming table, which is awesome. But Grace is very nervous for anything really to be done to her feet. Nail trims, paw pad shavings. So Mom's going to work with Grace too. Table time practice. So this is Grace. Grace is actually Ellie's mom, which is awesome. Hi, Grace. So Mom is going to practice with Grace. Grace has a few areas that are a little challenging with grooming. She's not bad, but she likes to sit a lot during the grooming. She'll sit when I'm grooming her, and I like her to stand. So Mom, you want to get her secured on the table?
Okay, come here.
That's always the first thing we do, is safely secure a dog on the table. And then we're ready to work with them,
Let's see, Grace.
because this reminds them where we want them to be. Now, we may have to adjust it if that doesn't work. You know, you can always loosen that up a little bit,
Yeah.
if that's what you need to for
have to stand
Grace,
up?
because you don't want it to be tight. Just you don't want a lot of slack in it. That's all. Good job, Grace.
There you go. Now, good girl. Good girl, Grace.
Yeah, see, Grace likes to sit a lot. So this is going to be good practice. Mom is teaching her, no, stand. Uh-huh. And then let her sit again. If you let her make up her mind, often she'll sit.
See, now
She does like to sit a lot when I'm grooming her.
she
So
gets tired.
that'll give you lots of practice with the up.
Let's see. Oh, let's brush your little feet. Brush your little
And Grace
feet.
has always been pretty good for brushing. It seems like it's
brush
nail
your little-
trims
let's see
and
this
paw
one.
pad shaves. She's very
Yeah.
protective of it. She doesn't get ugly or mean.
Good
She's just
girl.
protecting herself.
Let's see this one. Yeah, that's
So
good.
if your dog fussed with this,
Good.
what you would do is get them back up into that standing position
Great.
and then
That's a
try
good
again.
girl. Good
There,
girl. You
Mom
stand
just had her
up.
stand.
I always say, I don't like my face touched either. Let's see your teeth, Grace. Can we see your teeth? There's Grace's little teeth. Now, she got a little bit of tartar.
She's a little bit
So
harder.
I'm going to see Dr. Miller soon, and she can
Have a look-see.
She can look at my teeth.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've noticed Grace's teeth have gotten better since she was eating the farmer's
girl.
dog, which surprised me. I didn't know that it could get better.
And look at this. Grace has a tuck up.
She does. She was a little chubby. But hey, she got that weight off right away.
Yes, she did.
And the farmer's dog has definitely been good for controlling her weight, I'll say.
And she loves it.
Yeah,
Love
which
your
is
farmer's
good.
dog,
There's
don't
no complaints about eating here. Right, Ellie?
Yes, they love their farmer's dog.
So yeah, you see how Grace does like to sit a lot, and then you just want to touch her right under the abdomen and say stand. It just reminds her to stand back up.
You're being a good girl, Grace.
Yeah, Grace.
Good girl. Yes, you are.
Now, do you want to do any practice with the fake clipper work?
Okay. You want to see the clipper,
Do some.
Grace?
See, there's no blade on here,
Up, Grace, up.
but Mom's
Good
never
girl.
trimmed with Grace. Only
Okay, you ready?
me and other groomers.
Good girl, Grace. Yes. Pretty.
And that light is something that a lot of people don't think about. Having a light on your table or right beside your table so you can see is very important. It's a great little asset to your home grooming setup is having a light. This one mounts on the table. Ellie's doing her job over there.
Get your little head. Yeah. Good girl, Grace. Chin.
Yeah, you definitely want to get them used to the clipper around their ears, their face, because there's clipper work involved there, and you want to help desensitize them to that. Praise them when they're saying, okay, I'll let you do that.
You're being a good girl. See this paws? Yes, good girl, Grace.
You can see her pull herself together a little as she definitely gets a little concerned when it comes to something around her paws.
Good, great.
But that's okay. She can improve.
Yeah.
And she's not bad.
Yeah.
She's not bad. She's a good girl. And this is all desensitizing your dog. This is what you can do. Practice this 10 minutes a day. Leave your little setup ready to go for you and your dog. And you teach them to trust you with tools in your hand on the grooming table with them safely secured. Having a paw mat is definitely comforting for them because it won't let them slip around. If they slip around, they don't feel safe.
So good.
In the next video, we're actually going to get clippers out. Mom's going to clip these dogs. I'm going to give her some instruction. She's going to clip the dogs. She's going to set the pattern for the schnauzers. So stay tuned because this stuff's about to get real. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button. Let me know, let YouTube know that you are enjoying this content so I will keep making it for you. Thanks for watching.